Could Tom Aspinall fight tomorrow? Let's get into it. Hello, welcome to On Me Edson. I hope you're all well. If you like what I do here, don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notifications bell for all future videos. So, Tom Aspinall, could he fight tomorrow? Could he fight every week? Could he be a UFC fighter, heavyweight fighter, who could be at every UFC for the next 5 years, let's say? And you're probably thinking, what the hell am I going on about? Just hear me out. Hear me out. I don't believe there's ever been a fighter in UFC history. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments below, because I actually don't know. But I'm pretty sure there's never been a UFC fighter who's done successive UFC contests. I don't believe they've done it more than 3 or 4 times. I could be wrong there. For me, Tom Aspinall could do every UFC contest for the next 10, the next 15. Why? Why am I saying that? Okay, let's just simply look at his history. Okay, he had the injury, but he's a fast finisher. He's a first round knockout merchant. He's just become interim world champion, world heavyweight champion, as I said in previous videos, and I'm going to keep on saying this until he's actually appointed it. But for me, he is number one. He is the heavyweight champion. Fuck John Jones. You know, if he can't defend his title, then hey, he's not in the mix. But the way he dispatches his opponents in the first round, so quick, so clinical, and the way he finished off Pavlovich to take the interim crown in a 69 seconds, a minute and 9 seconds. Well, it was just, well, that's not work, is it? Of course it's work, and obviously the preparation into it and all that sort of stuff. But what I'm saying is he's not getting battered in the octagon, is he? He's not having to go 10 rounds with Mike Tyson and then just have a few weeks off. He's not taking 5 rounds out with Ngannou and knocking 7 shades of shit out of each other, are they? No. He's basically getting them out of there really quick. So my thinking is here, if you are dispatching really quick, you're not damaging your hands, you're not damaging any of your muscles. Yes, you've got to take the wear and tear of your preparation for the fight, and yeah, we know it's well documented that he wasn't really able to prepare a lot for the fight in Madison Square Gardens for 2 weeks prior when he got the notification because of a back injury, spasm, whatever it was. So taking that aside, his in-ring or in-octagon activity has been very, very slight from an offensive point of view. He's taken people out with his fists. He's let his hands go a couple of times. He's submitted a couple of times. So all of a sudden now you think, actually, what punishment are you getting? What wear and tear are you getting from these fights? So could he go again? He was at 295. If, let's say, at UFC 296, Leon Edwards and Kobe Covington was cancelled for whatever reason, and they really need to have a headline act on there, and then you think, crikey, who could it be? Tom, we need you back in here. We need you back here, and I've just called Stipe, and we're going to do it. Would you do it? I'm just wondering whether he would say, do you know what? I've hardly got any issues with me. Yeah, let's go. Let's go again. Now, okay, I know I'm pushing it a bit too far there, but you know what I mean? He's had no injury to himself. He's been in and out really quickly. He's done that for the last 4 or 5 fights. Yeah, he's always done that, really. He's getting better and better. He's taken out Pavlovich, who everybody was afraid of, for having the same kinds of attributes as Tom Aspinall anyway. So why couldn't he go from UFC to UFC? Why do we have to wait for Tom Aspinall? First of all, why do we have to wait for John Jones to recover? Why do we have to wait for Stipe to make up his mind whether he wants to fight John Jones or whether indeed fight Tom Aspinall? But also, who does Tom Aspinall fight in the meantime? And also, why should he have to wait even till next March, next April, next May to fight again? It seems ridiculous to me that for a fighter who we all think is right up there, possibly one of the best we've ever seen as an all-round game, but especially in his striking and especially the way he moves and he's able to evade, because Pavlovich took a swing at him and he continued to take a swing at him in that early minute, let's say. But Tom Aspinall was light on his feet. He was able to move around. A lot of his boxing know-how was coming into play there. So if he's inflicting maximum damage but receiving minimal, that means he can go again and again and again. So the only thing that's going to really prevent him from going again and again and again is the UFC themselves. It's about finding credible opponents who they're going to be able to sell pay-per-view tickets on the back of. So I get it. If in UFC 296 the headline act goes, then to call in Tom, yeah, I'm sure he'll be ready to go, but who are they going to match him up against? And also, would it sell tickets? That's the problem. The problem is not about getting the fights for Tom. And I don't think, personally, and I don't know the guy, so I can't really say, but purely judging on his performances and how quickly he's got his opponents out the octagon, then he could definitely go again. So he could go again. There'd probably be an opponent out there, but it probably won't be enough for a headline act. So now you're looking at the very top heavyweights to make themselves available. And this again is where it could be stalling a little bit. All of a sudden, Tom Aspinall kind of needs to push it a little bit here. And I think he already is, in all fairness. He is already asking questions of the UFC. So look, if John Jones is going to be ages out of the ring, months out of the ring, or octagon, let's get it on with Stipe. If we can't get it on with Stipe, well, let me get another fight straight away. He can't be inactive. I already said this in one of my shorts. You know, if he's going to be inactive, then the pull towards boxing, a boxing ring, a boxing contest with a top 10, top 15 boxer, heavyweight boxer, is going to be quite strong. It's going to, especially as Tom Aspinall is a stand-up fighter as well. And he's got boxing history. And he's done quite a few rounds in the past with Tyson Fury. And he's had a lot of fighting in the past with Peter Fury as well. I'm not saying they're best of friends or anything like that. I'm not saying they should take any credit as well. But all I'm saying is he did have a bit of boxing history. I think he had one pro-level boxing fight as well. So he does know his way around ring. Would he be at that level? I don't think so. And let's not confuse the issue with Ngannou against Tyson Fury, because that was just a flash for me. That was just a flash in the pan. That wouldn't happen again. But the pull towards boxing would be really strong, especially if he's not active in the UFC. My contention is that I think the likes of Tom Aspinall, because of the way he fights and the way he's dispatching his opponents, I think he's one of those very rare commodities, very rare characters in sports, in combat sports especially, but certainly in the UFC, who could go from UFC to UFC to UFC. Certainly, if there is the right opponents there, just to make it. Now, could the UFC spin this a little bit? Could they say, okay, we've got a phenom here. We've got somebody. It's going to be like the old fighting contests of the past, right? The old fairground carnival shows. They used to have the big brute who travel around with a traveling circus, and he'd be the big heavyweight, right? The big brute. And then all of a sudden they say, hey, any oncomers, anybody to come take him on, pay your $1, and then you can come and fight this guy and see if you can last a round. And every now and again, somebody would match up to him. But essentially, very rarely would anybody beat the big brute. You see this in films and, post-apocalyptic films and all that sort of stuff. It always happens. You get a big brute and then they say, right, who can come and challenge, Murdo the murderer, all that kind of stuff, right? So it could be something like that. You could spin it on its head a little bit and say, no, we have Tom Aspinall here. Any takers. We'll take anybody on. Whoever's there in front of us, we'll take him on. I've got a feeling there's massive marketing potential here, and I've got a feeling that people would want to see this happen, or would want to see if any other fighter could challenge Tom Aspinall. Or would it be the case that you just get him out of there within 30 seconds, a minute, that's it, job done, on to the next UFC? I'm not so sure this would happen. I'm not sure whether Tom would even entertain it at all. But I'm just concerned about his inactivity. And I'm just concerned about the heavyweight division in the UFC stalling, just like it has done for the longest time in boxing. And I just think he's ripe. He's the right character, the right fighter to be able to do a UFC one after the other. Okay, maybe not one after the other, but every other two, let's say, or every two, right? Yeah, he misses out on 296, but he'll come back at 297. He doesn't do 290, he does 299. And then you leave 298, 296, 298 and 300 for the other big shows. But Tom Aspinall, he doesn't even have to headline. He could be, the main support. He could be just the next fight on the undercard. Now, until that point, when the likes of Stipe or Cyril Gane or whomever, or John Jones is back, then they're ready to take the fight. I've got a feeling this will be a fantastic opportunity for the UFC to bring Tom Aspinall from where he is now at an amazing level up into the stratosphere, and to make him a household name, a much bigger name than John Jones and Garner or anything like that. I think you could take Tom Aspinall purely on the way he fights and the way he dispatches his opponents and make him into the biggest crossover sensation that there's ever been. I personally believe that would be the case. But listen, it's all about opinions. This is about having a bit of fun. I'm not sure I'm right. I'm pretty sure that wouldn't happen. Of course, you know, I'm not that naive to think this would happen, but I think it would be great to happen. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Could Tom Aspinall be that unique fighter who could go from UFC to UFC contest and just keep on taking out opponents, and nobody could come into the ring and beat him? Not for the next few years, not until he starts to be on the decline with his age. I've got a feeling he is the man for the job. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like what I do here, don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notifications bell for all future videos. And I'll catch you again. Bye now.